The grandsons of the late Prince Philip are sharing their grief at his passing. The Duke of Cambridge, Prince William, paid tribute to his grandfather, saying he's grateful for the time he and his family were able to spend with him. Prince Harry shared a similar message, saying he, along with his wife and children, will always hold a special place for him in their hearts. Over the weekend, mourners left flowers and cards to honour Prince Philip. And right now, top lawmakers in the UK are remembering the late Duke. Earlier, they shared a moment of silence in his honour.
I beg to move that an humble address be presented to Her Majesty, expressing the deepest sympathies of this House on the death of His Royal Highness, the Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, and the heartfelt thanks of this House and this nation for his unfailing dedication to this country and the Commonwealth.
The House of Commons started paying tribute about half an hour ago, recognising his many years of service to the country. Take a listen to what the British Prime Minister had to say. We've got Cyril Avenya live in Windsor, England now for more on all of this. Obviously, we're just listening to the Prime Minister there paying tribute. We know the House of Commons are going to spend the day paying tribute and honouring Prince Philip's legacy. But also we've heard from Prince William and Prince Harry speaking about their grandfather. What did they have to say?
Absolutely. Look, Linda, it is a week of tributes from all corners of the kingdom and really from all walks of life and from everyone. So you heard the politicians and you heard the Prime Minister leading both houses of Parliament in tribute to His Royal Highness, the late Duke of Edinburgh. And since Friday, we have gradually heard from an increasing number of family members. It was the Queen, indirectly, who was cited by her son, Prince Andrew, saying that the passing of her husband had left a huge void in her life. On Saturday, we heard from the heir to the throne, Prince Charles, Prince of Wales, who referred to his dear papa, someone who would be named, who would be missed enormously. Then we heard from the other children of the Duke of Edinburgh, Princess Anne, Prince Edward, Prince Andrew. That was yesterday. And today we are hearing from the grandchildren. So Prince William was the first to come out with a statement, followed shortly by Prince Harry. I'd like to read you a part of Prince William's statement. That's the Duke of Cambridge. I feel lucky to have not just had his example to guide me, but his enduring presence well into my own adult life, both through good times and the hardest days. I will always be grateful that my wife had so many years to get to know my grandfather and for the kindness he showed her. And I want to read you a part of Prince Harry's statement, also very personal. He will be remembered as the longest reigning consort to the monarch, a decorated serviceman, a prince, and a duke. But to me, like many of you who have lost a loved one or grandparent over the pain of this past year, he was my grandpa, master of the barbecue, legend of banter, and cheeky right till the end. Linda, what we're seeing from the royal family is a mix of their own personal feelings, personal emotions, and also how they want him to be remembered by the country. Remember, this is not a family that is known for public displays of effusive emotion, so they are choosing their words carefully, and they are giving us a rare window into how they feel. In addition to that, there is always a reference to service and his life of service. His grandsons, in particular, both mention this expression of getting the job done in their public statements, and that is no accident. That is, they really are channeling the voice of the late Duke of Edinburgh, who is someone who did not like a great fuss made of things, who probably, we are told, would not have wanted a great big fuss made of his own funeral. Which, remember, will not be a state funeral because that is reserved for monarchs. So that is really a point that the royal family has been at pains to get across to the public, that they are celebrating his life and that they are honoring his service. He was the longest serving royal consort, that is the spouse of the monarch. And that means, Linda, that he was the primary and most steadfast supporter of this monarchy, of the Elizabethan age, Linda.
He certainly was. And Cyril, I want to ask you a little bit more about the funeral plans, because under current COVID restrictions, we know that attendance to funerals is limited to 30 people. But Prince Philip did want a small send-off, as it were.
Yeah, he did indeed. And, you know, those plans have been discussed for years. So Prince Philip would have been a part of the planning for his own funeral during his lifetime. He approved of the plans. Now, of course, they're having to be revised and amended to take into account a COVID protocol. So what we know about the funeral is that it is going to take place Saturday at 3 p.m. British time, and it is going to start at the private chapel where the body of the Duke of Edinburgh currently rests, and his body will be carried over to St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle behind me. It's going to be a short procession, which will be lined by representatives of the military associations to which the Duke of Edinburgh had such a strong attachment. Remember, he was a decorated naval officer himself, and he saw battle in the Second World War. His coffin will be carried by a Land Rover that he actually had a hand in designing. It's going to be a custom-built Land Rover. We know the royal family has been fond of these vehicles since at least the 1940s. And then his coffin gets to St. George's Chapel. It will be received by the Archbishop of Canterbury, who will help lead the ceremony. It's going to be a private funeral. After that private funeral, only 30 people on the guest list, remember, because of COVID. Then his body will be interred in the royal vault in St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle. Linda?
All right, Esther Avenia staying across the door for us. Thank you so much. We will talk again soon. Well, over the years, Prince Philip was part of the royal family's significant interventions in the Northern Ireland peace process. That recognition coming from the Northern Irish Deputy First Minister today in a special Parliament meeting. It comes as Northern Ireland pauses to honour Prince Philip after a recent flare-up in violence. As Salma Abdelaziz reports, it's unclear whether that peace will last beyond the royal funeral this Saturday.
Sunday service for an anxious Protestant community.
I will lead us in prayer for Prince Philip and his family.
Here, there is mourning for Prince Philip and devotion for the Queen.
Can I invite you to stand? We pay tribute to Prince Philip.
And prayers for peace, too.
We can most certainly stand together to say violence is not the way.
Belfast was shaken by violence worse than any seen here in years. Mounting frustrations over issues ranging from Brexit laws to COVID restrictions poured out onto the streets. That quickly descended into sectarian clashes between Northern Ireland's bitterly divided Protestant and Catholic communities. But in the aftermath of Prince Philip's death, calls to end the fighting by pro-British loyalist leaders like Billy Hutchinson were heard.
I felt that people should respect Prince Philip. I don't want to see people back out in the streets. These young people will be criminalised, they'll be vilified.
At nightfall, we witnessed calm along a troubled fault line in North Belfast.
This area is often a flashpoint. On that side is a Protestant community. Over there is a Catholic neighborhood. At times, youth have clashed here. Police are trying to keep them apart, but all political parties have called on everyone to stay home, stop protesting, and it seems to be working.
Away from the hotspots, we meet 3 Protestant youth workers who tell us they do not want to return to the hatred of the past.
You don't want to be involved in it.
Why not?
Because you've moved on. You want peace.
I just think it's reckless and dangerous, and it's wrecking their own community.
Does any part of you feel afraid? Does any part of you feel like, oh, well, this could get worse?
Yeah, it's terrifying. The thought of that is terrifying. Having to grow up somewhere where you're scared of your own community.
Mourning for the royal family has quieted these restless neighbourhoods where loyalty to the monarchy runs deep. But the fear is the respite might not last beyond the prince's funeral. Salma Abdelaziz, CNN, Belfast.